As an advertiser, you're constantly zeroing in and trying to deliver your message only to the audiences that will find them most relevant. But on the internet, we have a whole new ballgame.
I think people need to understand that there is a lot of information that is being tracked at an aggregate level of where you're going and what you're looking at. Ultimately, the goal is to present you with advertising that you will respond to.
When you go to that page, CNN sends a query to its ad network and says, someone's loading my page, send me an ad. And so that ad network does two things. It sends an ad to CNN, but it checks first to see if they know anything about, not really you, but the device.
What I find even more fascinating is the new discussion based on social networking, which is you give up every single personal piece of data you have. And I think really, pushes the boundaries of privacy.
I have had a parade of 19-year-olds in my office over the last couple of years committing fraud on a variety of different platforms. But I'll tell you something, they're awfully easy to catch. I go on to MySpace and I've got everything.
There's a real question about what someone ultimately is going to be able to do with that data. The fact that I frequent ESPN between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the morning, okay, it's true. So what? So to answer the question, it's as secure as the folks who store it, and their ability to make it anonymous and strip out any potentially identifying characteristics of that data.
Self-regulation is tough when the public just lacks basic understanding of how this what information is being collected, how it's being used, who it's being shared with.
Massachusetts has recently passed a law basically saying anybody holding sensitive information about Massachusetts customers has to adopt one of these policies.
We have the federal agency, the Federal Trade Commission, whose directive is to prevent and prosecute unfair or deceptive acts or practices. Similarly, almost every state has an act on their state books with almost identical language. So in Illinois, we have the Illinois Consumer Fraud Act. I practice mostly in front of Chancery, and these Chancery judges, again, a few years ago, a lot of them were much older, and I had to do a step-by-step walkthrough. Now they're sitting up on the bench with their laptops.
It seems like that at a minimum there needs to be some transparency in how this information is being collected and how it's used, and so that then policymakers can make decisions about the social implications.
Some consumers are divulging information to online businesses that they don't intend and don't expect to be viewed by a human who is able to trace that back to them in an identifiable way.
Google is going to, in conjunction with the Center for Disease Control, submit supposedly anonymous data regarding searches regarding the flu. So I did a little informal poll of the doctors and a couple of the more learned attorneys, and I got a wide range of reactions and responses.